Okay, welcome to 321. And we are looking at structures of government today. And under the structures of government, there are some certain subheadings or some certain topics we are expected to actually look at. We have the unitary system of government. It's a topic on its own. We have federal system of government, which is otherwise called federalism. And we have the confederal system of government. Now, what we're expected to do here is to look at the reasons for adoption of each and every structures of government. Then we're still going to look at the futures and as well the merits and the demerits of each structure of government. Now, looking at the unitary system of government, which is otherwise called the Unitarianism. Now, we're trying to look at the foundation behind the unitary system of government. If you remember the history of Nigeria, as far back as 1966, we have the first military head of state in person of Agui Ironsi. Now, Agui Ironsi actually propounded a decree called the Decree number 34 of 1966. Now, this decree is synonymous to the unitary system of government, which is called the Unification Decree. Now, by definition, I will now say unitary system of government. We said this is a form of government, in which powers are concentrated in one arm without division. So what are we really saying about this particular system? Now, if you look at the justification behind the Unitarianism or the unitary system of government, we are saying it is a system of government where both the executive, the legislative, and the judicial power, everything is being, concentrated in one arm. In this particular system, there is nothing like the federal government, the state government, and the local government. We only have the central government, then we have an extension of this particular government. And I've said earlier before now, we said decree number 34, decree number 34 of 1966. Decree number 34 of 1966 introduced unitary system in Nigeria. Now we have examples of countries with this particular system. We have Britain, we have France, we have Italy. Now even in Nigeria, that particular system was introduced, although it was a failure along the line. Now let's look at the features of unitary states. How do we identify a unitary state? Now we are saying in a unitary system or in a unitary state, this system is best practice, which is number one of the feature, is best practice in homogeneous states. What do I mean by homogeneous states? We have heterogeneous states and we have homogeneous states. We're talking about heterogeneous, we're referring to a state where you have different religious beliefs, we have different culture, we have different traditions. The people are not the same in terms of their historical background. But whenever you hear the word homogeneous states, what we are saying by necessary implication is they have the same culture, they have, if not the same, but almost the same religion, we have the same way of life. Now in such system, it will be easier for us to have a unitary system, since the people will be, or it will be easier for the people to unite easily without any form of friction. Now number two, we said in a unitary system of government, the second thing you see is the delegation of power. Now, what is delegation of power? Having said that earlier, we said in the unitary system, we have what we call the central government, which is synonymous with the federal government. Then we have an extension of other components of government. Now, what do we mean by this extension? Now, the extension talks about the local government and the state government. Therefore, there is what we call the delegation of power, which means all those components of government, they are not on their own. They relied on what? On the central government to give them some certain function or some certain task to execute. That is what we mean by what? Delegation of power. Then number 3, we are saying that this particular system, as one of the future, it can only be practiced in a very small country. Now, Nigeria is a very big country. It will be difficult for us to practice a unitary system of government. But when you go to countries like Brunei, where they are not even up to 500,000, when you go to countries like Niger Republic, when you go to country like Togo, it will be easier for them to practice this particular system due to what? Due to the low level of population, another factor. Okay. Then next we said we have no constitutional division of power. Now, if we're talking about constitutional division of power, this deals with a system where the constitution makes provision for the federal government and other arms of government. But with respect to this particular system now, there is no constitutional division of power. Everything belongs to the central government. They only have the responsibility or the power to extend some certain functions to other components. Then next we said strong central government. Remember, we said a unitary system of government talks about the central government and other component units. Now, with respect to this, the central government is extremely strong with all powers and everything to do whatever they want to do. And these are the basic features of unitary states. Don't forget, we have the delegation of power. We said this can be best practiced in a homogeneous state. We said it can be practiced in a small country. We said there is no constitutional division of power. And we said the central government is extremely strong. Having said that now, we're looking at the reason behind the adoption of unitary states. What makes you think most people, go for unitary system? The same reason that makes people to go for democracy, most people opt for the monarchical system and other forms. The same thing we're looking at here with respect to unitary system. Number 1, we said homogeneous factor. Now, homogeneous factor, we're referring to the historical background of the people. You have the same culture, you have the same religion, you have the same historical background. For this reason alone, you think the best system to go for is what? Is a unitary system in order to do what? To restore that unity and that history and everything the people share together ab initio. Okay, number 2, we said small country. The same reason we attribute to the future. Reasons why countries adopt this particular system. If the country is a small country, instead of going for other forms or other structures of government, why not this particular system, which is the unitary system of government? In terms of coordination, they are not much. In terms of cooperation, they are not much as well. Then next we said we have absence of tribal grouping. Absence of tribal grouping. That's a serious problem in Nigeria today. We have the Yoruba, we have the Hausa, we have the Igbo, we have the Ijo. There are many tribal groups, there are many ethnic groups in Nigeria, which if we are to go for a unitary system of government, definitely there's going to be a serious problem. What is the problem? We might end up having nepotism, we might end up having sectionalism, we might end up having favoritism. Okay? So this particular system of government, we have what we call the absence of tribal grouping. Everybody is just one. Just like what we have in Uganda today, where we have 2 tribes. And even the tribes, I don't think they are functioning. Then next, we said, in this particular, we have what we call the limited human and natural resources. Now, the reason why most people go for unitary system is because of what? Because of limited human and natural resources. The resources is not even there. So it will be easier for these particular people to come together, just like what you have in the history of Singapore back then. Now, Singapore is one of the countries where you hardly see one single natural resources. So what do? They think, okay, fine, why not we should just come together? Let's prove to the whole world that we are the most sincere and honest people. And luckily enough, with the help of the former head then, we have Lee Kuan Yew, and successfully they did that, and look at where Singapore is today. Now we're looking at the merits of unitary system. The merits, which we can also say the advantage, the merits of this particular system. Now we said there is what we call less cost. What do I mean by cost? I mean cost of operation. You don't have to create different structures which you might end up having a duplication. For example, in Nigeria, you have civil defense, you have police, you have SARS, whatever it is. No. You have VIO, you have road safety. These are duplication. One person can perform this particular function. So this particular system actually creates room for what? For less cost of operation. You don't spend much money. So we said the cost of operation, the costs of operating the system, of operating this system is small compared to other system. Then we said we have quick action. Quick action, which is otherwise called quick decision making. Now, in terms of decision making, there is no need for you to tell me, okay, fine, let's consult this, let's follow all these procedures, the retapism, the bureaucratic structure. There is nothing like that, because the system is just one. We have the central government and other component units, and all power belongs to the central authority. So this system leads to quick action, which is otherwise called the quick decision making. Decision making is very fast. In this system / structure of government. Okay. Then number 3, we said this system actually promotes a strong government. Now, there is no division of government already. What brought about weak government is because you have a lot of division. At the end of the day, we have rivalry, we have competition. If you look at what is happening, for example, in Nigeria, where you have the party problem, APC, PDP. Now, in this system, there is nothing like that. So the government will be so strong because the people are united. They speak with one voice. They pursue one goal. They are fighting for one cause. Okay? So we said promotes strong government. Government of the day ended up being strong due to unity and cooperation Okay. Then next we said absence of retapism. Absence of red tapism. Now don't get it twisted, please. Red tapism is a combination of two words. It's a compound word. Red and tapism. Now red tapism it has to do with total compliance to procedure. Something you can do within a few seconds. You are telling me let's go here, let's go here. You end up wasting time. Now in this particular system, there is no bureaucratic structure where you have this one, you have this procedure, you have this procedure. Everything is just straight, okay? So we said bureaucratic or bureaucracy is absent due to one single authority. Then lastly, we said we have unity. Unity. Remember, the aim of every country is to promote and protect unity. This time Nigeria, we said the motto of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is unity and faith, peace and progress. The same thing we have when it comes to our unitary system of government. Remember, the main aim of Agui Ironsi is to make sure he actually unites Nigerians together. But unfortunately, if you look at what happened in the military coup d'etat, Agui Ironsi deliberately refused to keep to his promise, and that act alone led the so-called Hausa people to plot another coup, which is called a counter coup, which actually led to his death. Okay.